Shoot, I forgot to record. Hey, hi, it's Rai. That little intro was from a lovely commenter called LizamR5305/KylieB123. Thank you so much. It's really cute. And of course, I don't want to be a complete copy of Ray, so I may change this in the future, but for now, I'll just use it because I really like it. Holy shit, a lot has been happening in the past week. It's been about a week since my last video, and I kind of went viral. I don't really know what's the term or the definition for viral in this case, but I'm gonna say I went viral because before that video, I had 29 subscribers. Now, I have over 13K. On my Instagram, I am about to hit 1K followers. Well, I already did, I think. I'm not quite sure. Because at the time of this recording, I had, I think 980 something. So I'm just gonna assume by the time this video comes out, I have 1K. And on my Twitter, I have over 100 followers. A lot has been happening, and I'm kinda scared. I am very thankful, of course. Everything is just wonderful, and I've been getting a lot. It's just I never had such a big spotlight on me before, and it's kind of overwhelming. And I'm trying to understand that I now have an audience, and now I have to be responsible about what I say and what I do. I can't be reckless, and I also have to start creating content because now there's people who enjoy my content and who want to see it more, and I'm very thankful. It's just something I'm not used to. So yeah, to celebrate this huge milestone, I'm going to be hosting a Draw This in Your Style on my Instagram. How can you enter? Just simply use the hashtag DTIYS1K and redraw this image right here, which is, of course, a drawing of my OC. Her name is Cassie. She has the power to control plants. If that helps you in your drawing, you can draw her in any pose you want. No not safe for work stuff, of course. And all you really have to do with her is just make her recognizable. You can put her in any outfit, just make sure she has her, of course, her basic features. And you may have a chance to win a drawing by me. There will be 3 prizes. These are the 3 prizes on my screen, and they will all be randomized. So it doesn't matter your drawing skill, it doesn't matter what drawing experience you have, it will be completely random because I feel like that's the most fair I can make this. And I want everyone to have a chance to win. So please go think about supporting that or anything like that. If you don't want to, that's fine. I just hope you enjoy this video then. And wow, thank you so much for all your support. I really don't know what else to say besides thank you. It's just, I never thought I would have such a big spotlight on me or anyone to actually look at my art. Of course, I had followers before. I had like 400, which I was thankful for each and every single one of them, but now it's just, wow. It's just amazing. Okay, so really quick before we get into the video, there was a couple questions I had on my last video and a couple concerns, and I'm going to answer them now. For the concerns, one of them was, of course, about the speed paint itself and how I made some of your eyes hurt and give you much motion sickness. I am so sorry. I should have taken that in consideration, but I didn't. I was very ignorant, and I will make sure that won't happen again. Of course, it will happen again. As you can see by this first speed paint, it is happening again. It's because I didn't really think about it or see the comments until I finished the speed paint. I am so sorry, and there should have been a warning just before this video started, so I hope you're fine. I'm so sorry. The next video, the first speed paint will have this problem, but I will make sure that I won't have this problem again. this might mean that I can only really just color for the speed paints because I'm not very comfortable not being able to zoom in and basically flip the character around for sketching, so there's that. And there are some also concerns about me working with Yandere Dev or Alex. I'm not working with him. I would never work with him. Okay, so now that we got a little bit those out of the way, of course there is some other criticisms, but I will mention them in the next video because that's more topical. And so let's answer some of the hardware questions you guys had and software questions. First up, software. I use a program called Procreate, which is on the Apple App Store. I also use a program called LumaFusion. LumaFusion's for editing, Procreate is for drawing. How do I record my audio and video? Audio, I use the basic Windows 10 voice recorder. Yeah, I'm really going free on this one. And the screen recorder app that you can find on your iPad. It's naturally there. How you can get it, just go into settings, go into control center, go into customize controls, and if it's not already enabled, it should be under more controls. Just hit the plus thing and then you can find it in your little wedges section, which is like the area where you can modify the brightness and you can turn on airplane mode or turn off Bluetooth or something like that. And people also asked me about my pencils and like my brushes that I use in Procreate. I use dry ink, which is my sketching, and my line art pen when I do line art. I use a brush called Spectral 1 for my coloring and shading. And when I'm not using those two brushes, I'm using a brush called Hard Brush and Round Brush for just basic filling in or coloring. And I also use a brush called Bamboo Chalk sometimes for shading. And that's about it. So let's talk about styles for a minute. Editor Rai here. I forgot to explain what I was actually supposed to be doing in this video. I don't know why. I was just dumb during my recording process. I'm doing the challenge on Instagram, which is the hashtag style swap. So yeah, don't mind me. I was a dumbass. I didn't explain to it. I just went straight into styles and I didn't even explain the challenge I was doing. Okay, I have to finish editing this video. Okay, bye. Art styles is kind of like handwriting, where two people can have very similar handwriting, but at the same time, there will be differences in it. This is why I don't believe in art style theft, unless if it's just straight up tracing, because there's no such thing as copying someone's style, because a lot of people can be inspired by the same things, sometimes even producing the same art style. So yeah, art styles to me are very, very, very personal. This is why this challenge was so hard for me to do, because it was basically taking my 5 years of drawing experience and everything I like, basically the culmination of my whole art, I don't want to say career, hobby maybe, and just completely and utterly throw it out the window, just fucking defenestrate the fucking thing. And it was hard for me to basically visualize something that would be the complete opposite of my style. So first off, I had to analyze my art style. So let's us analyze it now. First thing you might see about my art style is that it is very, very much sketchy. I like to have a very more sketchy line art because I feel like it brings a lot more energy to the piece. Well, of course, having more straight and more clean line work doesn't mean your piece doesn't have energy. It's just I don't know how to communicate that well for like more clean line art work. So I make it more sketchy because I don't know. I like more sketchy things. This also means I don't really have to do line art, which saves me a whole bunch of time. Line art was literally one of my biggest demons when I was drawing digitally like 6 months ago, and when I decided to abandon it, I just felt so much more happier drawing, and I just couldn't wait to draw again because that means I could sketch and I could color again, which are my two favorite processes of the art process. Another thing you might notice about my art is I have like circles, and like I like to do little marks. Ooh. And I also like to put in the eyeline crease for some reason. I have no idea why I do that. I also like to put a lot of skin details in if the character I'm drawing has skin details, and I always go overboard on this. A lot of people mentioned in my last video that Asana had looked like she had a bunch of moles on her body. They're not moles, they were meant to be freckles. I just sometimes go a little bit trigger happy, so yeah. Basically though, what I did is I got rid of the sketchiness, so I went for a more cleaner look. I also got rid of the little circles and the little dash marks and unnecessary lines that didn't need to be there. I also made it so the skin details were very minimal and not really that noticeable. I also made it so she had smaller eyes and like less detail eyes, because I like to bring a lot of detail into my eyes, and I like to make them big because literally drawing eyes and hands are my favorite parts to draw, and now I kind of can't really do that because that's what my art style is. I like to draw very detailed eyes. I also made her hair less fluffy and more straight because that's kind of the opposite of what I usually do. Even for straight hair people, I make their hair very fluffy. Don't ask me why. It's just because I love drawing curvy lines, I guess. And I also made the clothes less detailed. I gave less folds to it. I made it so it was a little bit more structured than I usually do. I also made it so the lines on her shirt didn't follow the original, like the path of what it would usually do in real life. I also made it so she had less plant life on her, and I gave her vines more structure to them, like so they're very like more stylized than they are in the original drawing. I also gave her 4 fingers instead of 5. I have no idea why I did this at the time. I also got rid of my very, I guess, quote-unquote painterly style of shading and gave her cell shading. I also gave her more saturated colors, and that's basically what I did. It's really hard to put into words why I hated drawing this so much. It might have been because how I was kind of drawing it, so I didn't really give people motion sickness, but I don't think that was exactly it. It was kind of felt like I was drawing a piece that wasn't my own. It felt like it wasn't me drawing it. It was very weird. It felt very wrong drawing it. This art style actually kind of reminds me of something I would draw back around 2 to 3 years ago. It reminds me of that because back 2 to 3 years ago, I used to use a lot of cell shading, more saturated colors, just more clean line work, but it's something for some reason I just kind of strayed away from. I guess it's because I didn't really like working with saturated colors anymore, and I wasn't very comfortable doing cell shading because I loved doing more soft shading. It's very weird to look at something that I would consider the almost exact opposite of my style. The absolute exact opposite would be lineless, but there was no way I was going to do lineless. And it actually turned out to be the style I would draw in 3 years ago, my younger self. And it's something I never really thought of, how much my styles have changed over the years, and how I would never draw in something I would draw 3 years ago, and how my younger self could only dream of drawing the way I draw now. And also how my character has changed too. Back when I was younger, Cassie wasn't even named Cassie. I think her name was Star or something like that. And she had blue and magenta or pink eyes. Well, now she has brown hair and green eyes to better fit her aesthetic towards plants. Because I drew her with her aesthetic towards plants, and I didn't really like that. So I changed it because I thought it would better fit her, and it does better fit her. I guess what I'm trying to say is that change in an artist's journey is very important. And you'll notice the change, and you'll realize that the way you used to love drawing and the way you used to do some things is something that you'll eventually not like doing or just straight up hate. And that's fine. That's completely normal. Honestly, staying in the same gutter and doing the same thing over and over again, which is insanity, may not be necessarily helpful in your development. If you ever find yourself in a rut, or if you ever find yourself questioning if your art style is good enough, or if your art style is amazing, if you ever have like a single doubt or something like that, I would say experiment. I would say take a step back and draw something that you usually wouldn't draw differently. Like, say if you draw eyes very detailed, try to draw them a little bit more simplistic. Of course, you never have to share these art style experiments. I have a ton of art style experiments that I never show anyone because they're experiments. They're stuff that allows me to decide whether or not if I like something. And I feel like that's the beauty of change. You get to find something that you like. So, yeah, that kind of got a little preachy at the end. I am so sorry about that. Anyways, I hope you all have a great day. I hope you wash your hands, I hope you stay 6 feet apart, and please wear a mask or some type of facial covering because I don't want you all beautiful people getting COVID. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great one once again. This is Rai saying goodbye. Hey, that rhymed.